Friends, it's Kelly. Welcome to the Hip Kit Club. Kit only Thursdays. That's a mouthful. This is the layout that I've made today, and I'm going to start in the Silhouette Studio to show you how I edited the cut file, Cute Cut File by Kim Watson, and added some words underneath with my sketch pencil in the Silhouette Studio. So let's head over there. So this is Kim's cut file, and I wanted to make my title fill up my page, and even though my elf on the shelf there is very cute, I'm going to remove it so that I can accommodate my big title. And I just did that with the knife in Silhouette Studio. Just chop it off there, and then we want to edit the T so the corner is square. And if you click on your title twice, it adds editing points to your cut file, and you just drag the dots so that it makes your cut file square. So now we have the cut file without the elf, and I'm going to open a sketch font to allow me to add the words. I'm using Jordan Sketch Font by Lori Whitlock. When I open it, it'll populate the text style box, and you just click on the A over on the left in your tool selection and start to type your words. I'm going to type them individually so I can move them and adjust them individually and resize them to fit on my layout. Now I knew that I wanted to leave a border on my layout, so I am going to draw a square that's 11 by 11. It's not going to be used to cut anything, it's just going to be used as a reference so that when I move things around and place my title at the top there and resize my words and spread them out, I know that they're going to fall within my background so that I can cut it for a border. If you'd like to try this technique, try to keep in mind that if you are stitching them, you can actually just draw them on if you wish to and not stitch. But if you're stitching, make them a size that won't be too hard for you to stitch. So you're going to click on send. Make sure you have your send screen set up for pen and sketch, not cut. So click on your title and click off cut, and away we go. I have to add a paper clip there because my pencil's too skinny. So there it's drawing the words, and off to the process video we go. Here we are. My words are drawn with the Jordan Sketch font, and this is the adapter you'll need. I have a Cameo 3. The Cameo 4, the adapter looks similar except it has a flat back. So place in your pen or pencil as far as it'll go with the cap on, remove the cap, add it to your cartridge, and start drawing. So I'll just show you the papers that I initially planned. I wanted to put my finished layout on the chevron paper because it had lots of colors, and I didn't end up using the paper you just saw there. I had plan B as I went along. So using the flexible piece of foam, which is sturdy enough to place my layout on without making dents, and a pin, I just make holes on my drawn words for stitching. And I used DMC floss, all 6 strands, and did a back stitch. So that took me just a couple of hours to do all 5 words, and we're going to speed her up now and work our way through my layout. So I've gutted the chevron paper because I just wanted to use the border, and here's the cut file that I made in the Silhouette Design Studio. And I also made an outline of the cut file without the letters in it because I want to pop up the letters that I cut, and that gives you the base to do that. So I'm using Scott's tacky glue in my fine line bottle, and I'm going to glue my cut file to an outline. It's the exact same size, just doesn't have the inside letters, and that's going to be how I add or pop up with foam tape the letters inside. I get my foam tape at scrapbook.com. You get quite generous size rolls for, I think, a very reasonable amount. This is going to give my title a lot of nice texture and depth. So I also cut out the letters in the Silhouette Design Studio, and that just really helps them fit perfectly. Just drag the letters out of the cut file and cut them out of your desired pattern paper. Mixing color and pattern together is actually one of my most favorite parts of scrapbooking. It's like designing a room or sewing a dress. There's just unlimited choices, and no two people are going to do it alike. And here you'll see that I couldn't quite decide if I should put the green L in elf or put the pink L in elf. And so I finished off the rest of the cut file and came back and made that decision. And I decided to put the green L in trouble. So I made a giant X just with another font in Silhouette Design Studio. I just stretched it long enough to cover the word trouble. And I'm ready to attach my stitched background to my border, the chevron border. And I'm just using my Sticky Thumbs tape by American Crafts. I like it because it really gives you a strong hold, and I like the size of the dispenser too. So moving along, I also cut a shadow of my cut file in the Silhouette Design Studio, and I'm popping that up with foam tape. So that adds another nice dimension to my layout, and I adhered that directly to my background, again with my Sticky Thumbs tape. So my designer challenge today was only using the main kit, and I cut out some flowers using that pattern paper and chose other elements from the main kit to build a little collage in the upper left hand corner. And then I'm going to add my photos up there and use a few stars and that snowflake punch to add a little texture around my stitched words. So the other part of the designer challenge I had today was to add some sparkle. And you'll see coming up that instead of using the colored side of my giant X, I actually turned it over and sewed some sequins onto that X. And while I had filmed a demo of that for you, it was terribly out of focus. I held it too close to the camera. So I'm going to leave a link in the description box where I've done a similar technique in another video for those of you who want to try it. It's sewing sequins on with a chain stitch. So I took my giant sequins laden X and popped that up with foam tape over the word trouble, because these elves, they don't get into trouble. They're just busy working and having fun. They run into a few snags, perhaps a couple of traps, but it's actually elf haven. Quite a delight. So to add a little more sparkle, I placed double-sided sticky tape around the edge of my border and sprinkled it with some plain white glitter. This one's by Nuvo, but you can use whatever you have or even choose another color. I didn't want it to stand out a great deal. I just wanted it to add a little bit of sparkle. And it sticks nicely to your double-sided tape. So these are the photos that I used. I'm trimming them down. They're 2.5 by 2.5, and I'm actually going to back them with a little bit of paper, but first I sanded off a little bit of the edge, and that makes it look kind of like a frosted window and takes the place of a white border that you often see around your photos, and it lets it stand off the pattern paper just a little bit, nothing too dramatic. Remember from the beginning of my process video, I gutted the chevron paper that I used to frame my background, and I've used that piece from the middle of the chevron paper to cut out the U in Trouble and now to back my photos as well. So just a little way to extend the use of your paper. I got a lot out of just one 12 by 12 sheet. And because I'm using only the main kit today, I've cut out some florals from the floral pattern paper in the main kit, and along with some ephemera from the package that was also in the main kit, I built up a small collage around my photo. Some of it's popped up, some of it's actually glued directly to the background. Just going for texture and interest with the phrase sticker there that says, "Oh, what fun! These elves visit my friend Anna every Christmas," and their antics are caught on camera by Anna's mom, and they just they're not getting into trouble per se, but they do have quite a lot of antics going on between December 1st and when Santa arrives. So that's always a lot of fun to see what they're going to do next. So Earl and Snowflake make Christmas so much more fun. It's an annual tradition. So I'm going to add also some of the silver sparkly enamel dots also in the main kit, and this might be something new for you. I decided I wanted something even more on the border, and using my tacky glue in the fine line bottle, I put just a very thin strip along the border of my layout to glue in this pink and white baker twine. There's so many colors in the chevron paper, it was hard to decide, but I went with pink, but I thought it would look cute with green and white, even yellow and white. It's Christmas, but I'm really digging the yellow in the Christmas collection this year. At the end, I'm going to roll off my string underneath the collage I built in the corner there, tie a knot, and glue the knot down, and that just anchored it nicely. You'll have some glue on your fingers, but que sera. And I'm adding some white Nouveau dots that kind of remind me a little bit of snowflakes. I like to dot things around my layouts, acrylic paint. I just stick the end of my paintbrush in the lid and dab it here and there. I like it to look like it's just fallen on the layout happenstance. Some of you are really good at your splattering. My splatter never ends up going where I want it to. It's quite a sad situation. But this kind of does the trick too. So just the tip of my paintbrush, dab, dab, dab. And that's it for me today. Thanks so much for being here. Everybody have a great Christmas, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.